So thank you, Maxwell Medical and Brian Shaner, for sure. Back live, okay. Just a review of the whole week, a quick review of the whole week. We talked a lot about conditioning, and we talked a lot about speed work. And when we're watching some video today, we're going to point out some areas where speed differences. We talk about mismatches. Speed mismatch is something that everybody looks for. If you can find a speed mismatch, you can get an easier basket. So as part of speed, we talked about the OODA loop, observe, orient, decide, and act, and how the first two steps of observe, orient are part of focus. So if you're not mentally focused in a game, if you're not, and here's the difference in defining focus. If you're not focused on what's next, if you're not focused on what just happened into what's next and the flow of the game, and if you want to learn a lot about psychology, look up the term flow. You talk to great athletes and they'll say, man, how did you score 32 points in the second half? And they'll be like, to be honest, I don't even really remember it. I was in that zone. Well, that's what we're talking about in flow. You are in that zone where you're using your mental focus to give you a great performance. So keep that in mind. We talked about decision making and the monster drill and some of the other drills that you can use to facilitate the neurology of learning and speed, and really learn how to focus on your decision making. We talked about, everybody talks about communication is a key. It's big for us. It's a key in our defense being successful, and it's a key on our offense, making sure in transition, we're already transitioning to be set up like we want. We talked about using continuous play, 2-on-2 on 2, 3-on-3 on 3, 5-on-5 on 5, as a way to practice a half-court defense or a half-court offense. Then when the ball goes to the other end, that group that's left can talk to each other and communicate and figure out what went wrong. Because there's some examples we've seen in the film where people are worried about what just happened instead of what happens next. Got a couple drills we'll add in a little bit later about touching the wall into a 504, 5-on-4. And sometimes we will do half-court defense where we're going to jump everybody. Maybe you're not going to jump everyone, but we'll practice that because we want to practice the switching and the talk that we have to be great in our half-court defense. All right, so going into today, we're going to start out with a band warm-up that we do 2 or 3 times a week. This is a prehab warm-up with the athletes we'll do a warm-up, get the blood going, get the body ready, then we'll do bands and stretching. So we're stretching for performance. We're also stretching to prevent injury too. So you'll see the guys have a couple different kinds of bands. Just yeah. I know there's a lot of expensive bands out there that you can order. We don't have the budget to order everybody a $25 band, but we do get this, which is Therabands, and they didn't pay me, but I'm going to give them a shout out anyway. Non-Latex Therabands. All right, these are the gold ones, so these are one of the tighter ones that create a little bit more resistance. Here's an example. We have a player with a upper extremity disability, so he knotted one end into a loop, so that could loop around 2 fingers or a thumb, and he'd still do the prehab training. Okay. generally in practice, it's a time where everybody gets their joke of the day or the funny video they watched the night before. And we're working different angles of shoulder range of motion. We're working the smaller muscles in the shoulder that are actually connective. And I think other than one of our older players, we did a pretty good job of saving our shoulders and doing the light strengthening work that we need to do to prevent injury. So looking back, like we all do at the end of the season, maybe we add one prehab session, but overall, I thought our trainer did a good job and our guys did a good job of taking this serious. And it's not just something you got to do before practice, but something that is going to save their shoulders, not only for the season, but for the rest of their life. Most of them are going to be pushing a chair and hopefully for a long time. So we want to make sure that their shoulders are strong and able to go with them. Because think about it, if you injure a shoulder and you're out, you might be out of pushing around campus and going to classes. So take care of those shoulders. Corey, can you set up 2 more stations on this? Okay, today for our agility and our reaction time, we have a new drill that Corey brought to us. He just showed me this morning. I thought it was neat. Different way to train, something different. Change the environment a little bit. So set up like 2 more. Yeah. And we're going to show a different way to start this drill to improve reaction time. So Corey's going to set up a couple more stations so we can have 3 athletes do this drill. Because first push, second push, there's your offense, there's your defense, there's your transition right there. So we're going to spend a lot of time in practice on that, especially preseason. And that's one thing to talk about too. Preseason to in season is a change in your training. Preseason, we want to work power, we want to work reaction time, we want to work strength. In season, we want to maintain. So the funny thing about wheelchair basketball season is supposed to start generally in November, and then your next game sometimes aren't until January. So we can continue our strength and power development for maybe another month before we get into our in-season training. Then post-season training, a lot of relaxation and recovery until we go back to our power training. So Corey's going to start out now. We talked about introduced Corey earlier. Corey was a college football player at OU. You Texas guys, sorry, but OU, injured sophomore year. So he's gone through a lot of different agility drills. So Corey's going to go, and then we'll get one person at each station. And I'll show you how we'll switch it around a little bit based on a wheelchair start and not a standing running start. Okay? So let's demonstrate the drill, Corey. All right, so basic start, backing up. Acceleration, deceleration, the figure 8, and then the sprint. Okay, so if everybody will, 2 more of y'all take the station here. You might be wondering why AJ doesn't wear a mask when we're doing activity. He has asthma as part of his disability. So as long as he on the side is wearing his mask and continuing distancing, then you don't wear a mask for the activity part. All right, I like this. It covers a lot of components of the game. So we're just going to do 2, and then we're going to add to it. We're going to add a little wheelchair basketball touch to it, a little decision making and reaction time after they do 2 each. So, and so a lot of us coaches in wheelchair basketball, we're going to steal drills from each other. We're going to steal them from able-bodied sports as well. And number 2. Boy, nice. Okay, Bryce, back to your start. Okay, now we're going to add a little twist. We're going to start out facing me. So we'll start out facing away from where you're going, and I'm going to call right or left. They've got to adjust, turn right or left, and do the drill. So we're going to do this one. We got spacing. We got good spacing. Remember your spacing. Left! So you saw the reaction times were different. Okay, this time put your hands on your head. So now we've got another adjustment. And left! Let's start out facing that wall. And hands straight out in front. Right! So we're just doing another factor of moving the hand position at the start, but also moving the chair position at the start. So now we have to adjust to the command, getting their hands at the right position on the wheels, and getting that first push in. Face this wall. And behind your back. Oh, cool. Right! All right, one more. Hey. Boy, take this one off and set up that elbow. So let's watch reaction time. Okay? We start out facing the back wall. And one hand straight up and the other arm to the side. Huh? Face that wall. Yeah. Different back. Get it up. And it's to the side. Yep. Right. All right, like I say, lots of different ways to work reaction time, to work acceleration, deceleration, turning, using your body. This is just another one you can add to make it fun. So new drill to me as well. I like it. We would probably do that maybe 5 minutes every 30 seconds. So that would give them 10 different starts. Okay. Yeah, I love it. Corey came in all excited today and said, hey, here's a couple drills we used to do in the able body world. So we're adjusting them to our world now. We do an M drill already in our agility and speed work. So Corey says this is an L drill. So after Corey goes, maybe Carrington, you could jump in and do one. So see the cones set up here. Got 3 cones. Corey went and removed all the clutter, so thanks, Corey. Okay, so you guys watched, brand new to our other guys as well. So something fun today for the last day of camp. You can add a different start like we just did. Fun. Start out.
Okay. You have to touch each hand. I guess you can switch it up to right hand and left hand, but you have to touch with each hand each time. Which I guess we're not touching it. You say turn instead of touch. Turn left and then turn right.
A lot of direction changes on that one. He's gonna walk through it. He's gonna do a slow-mo. Yeah, just do a slow-mo one. Let's make sure. Now we're gonna check our other guy's memory. Lying back. So you can use this for an assessment tool. If you like this drill, you could use it for an assessment tool. He has to push past the far volleyball line and measure out. I think we got 5 meters between the first 2 cones here. Then we got 3 meters, 3 meters at the start, and then 5 meters on the side push. So it's called the L drill. Jump up, guys. We'll get a couple guys doing it. Maybe we'll give it a shot. If you're using it for an assessment, have a gate down at the end. They have to push through that gate as part of the drill. AJ? This is take turns for a while. Again, you can start it with different starting position in the chair, different starting position with the hands. Wheel over the line. Right. Very nice. Another new drill that we could add last day of camp. Who knew, right? Who knew? Okay, now we're going to have a little fun, and this is what everybody, look at Stephen Hawking's there. Everybody loves to do. We got a couple shooting drills. All right. So our first shooting drill is going to do, we call this Maverick Shooting. Okay. Guys get a ball. We'll have 8, 10, 12 guys on the court doing this at the same time. So we go by 7 spots. We go baseline 45, elbow, free throw, elbow, 45 baseline. You have to make 2 in a row to move to the next spot. Here's the thing. Every miss, you push down and back. Okay, so it's more game-like than just shooting and shooting. And it's motivating for the guys to get in their free time and practice shooting because they don't like pushing full court and back. So this is a good conditioning drill. We'll go 8 minutes on this, Fabian? Yeah. 8 minutes to finish. So once you get 2 in a row at each spot, then you got to get 1 at each spot coming back the other way. Same thing. You miss it, you don't start over, you go back to the same spot you were at, and you got to get 1 in a row, try to finish in 8 minutes. All right. We had about half our guys that could finish in 8 minutes. So Jimmy, we're going to maybe film from the side. Got to find our right screen here. All right, here we go. So remember, 2 in a row at each spot, which is 7 spots. And then 1 in a row at each spot coming back. Oh, what the hell? So Bryce made 1 at spot 1. We call that spot 1. Now he's got to make it. He just made 2. AJ just hit 2 in a row at spot 7 over there. Now he's going to spot 6, which is the 45. Now he's got to start all over at spot 6. So he's got to get 2 in a row. I've seen guys let their misses get stuck in their head so much that it ruins their entire 8 minutes. They're thinking backwards instead of forward. They can't let go of that miss or that second miss. I've also seen guys who get way behind and then they stick with it and they catch up and they finish the drill. So it's a mental drill as well as the physical game. You can tell we're coming off a summer where people didn't get a lot of work in. As a coach, your time while they're doing this, you're looking at release, the angle of the shot. You're looking at, are they lining up? Like in the beef that we all teach in shooting, are they lining up? Are they getting a good release angle? And are they getting a good angle into the rim? So the entry angle into the rim. You'll see in the games, a lot of people start shooting flat. And what we're working is making sure that we're not shooting flat. Fabian had a nice arc on that one. But the guys have to learn how to self-correct. If they're shooting flat, they have to correct. If they're shooting right and left, it's probably because their elbow's out or because they turn their hand on the release. So just a few reminders about the release angle and the elbow angle coming in. Making sure that the ball is lined up with the elbow. Last shot, the ball spun around the rim. He didn't have his shooting angle, his release of the ball angle in the right position. So the ball came in flat and spun around the rim. AJ moves over to spot 5. I would say stand behind your athletes. You can see where they start with the ball. A lot of your athletes are going to bring the ball right here and then try to shoot from here. Well, then you have too much action on the ball. They're bringing it over to this position and up at the same time. We want to get in the habit of having the ball here over the elbow. So when it comes up, it's there, or if they're bringing their shot up, they're bringing it up to here. So we're not trying to take away that side-to-side movement of the elbow and the ball. You're going to watch the starting position of some of these shots. Make sure they're squared up and lined up. And we'll move on to another drill as soon as somebody gets all the way around. They're shooting with the ball in front of their face. The ball hasn't lined up. If you've noticed, Fabian with the blue mask started out way behind. It took him a long time to get past spot 1 on the baseline. Maybe it's not a spot that he works a lot. But now he's caught up. He's all the way over to spot 6. So what we'll do in practice, the people who finish over and back, that's either free throw shooting time or 3-point shooting time, depending on what they're more likely to shoot in games. So he made 2 in a row at spot 6. Now he's going to spot 7. He was way behind. I think AJ was at spot 3 or 4 when Fabian left spot 1. But he kept in there. And it's interesting to watch when you get down to 30 seconds and you see how much they hustle to get that last shot or 2 in. Those are the athletes that you want to work with, the ones that really, really want it. So he made 1 at spot 7. Now he's got 1 more at spot 7, and he comes back 1 shot at each spot. Now it's a little competition. AJ's going around 7 to spot 1. Fabian's going around spot 1 to spot 7. Now they're really competing to try to see who can be the first one to finish going around at 2 in a row. And that competition drives some people. Having somebody to compete against. A group of guys who can push each other, and this is one thing they can push each other in, and that makes it game-like too. Having the clock makes it game-like. And now Fabian's coming back around at 1 in a row at each spot. All right. Thanks for the demo, guys. We'll do gotcha here, a short game of gotcha. Let's have Carrington and Fabian and everybody else down here, a 3-person team. Gotcha at spot 1. So this is the team shooting drill we have. Start at spot 1, guys. At spot 7, go to spot 1. Okay, so we're setting up this drill by team. We're just going to use one ball, shooter rebounds, and has to make a good pass back so that the person in line can catch and shoot. So we're looking at passing as part of the drill, and also watching the shot, judging where the shot's going to go, and working on there and getting that rebound. So for us, we're going to do 5 makes or 3 in a row. 5 makes or 3 in a row. And then we whoever gets it first yells gotcha. We go down and we switch. We go to spot 2. All right. Ready, Jimmy? Sure. They're all going. And go. Uh-oh. Team over here has got the first 2 shots on in. Good shot. Okay, team, we only got to make 5. So you see sometimes the athletes will get in that rush mode. Oh gosh, I gotta hurry. We're getting behind. The other team's winning. In practice, we'll do maybe 15 makes and 6 in a row. So they get in that rush mode, and then things start going on. You've heard people say, hurry but don't rush. Okay? You can do things quickly without rushing it. And we've got it's a mental point at that time. So these guys had 2, and then they haven't made 1. What are we at? Count it. We have 4 down here. All right, now we switch. This team comes down here to spot 2. This team goes down to spot 2 on the other side, and we'll start all over again in our count. What we're doing on these elbow shots is like a behind the screen shot. Okay, we got 2 on the other end. This is the third shot. Now they got to get 5. recommended, right? Good passes, because that pass, receiving the pass and shooting is all process. Game-like part of this, and there's that peer pressure and that personal pressure to hit that third shot in a row, to hit number 5 and beat the other team. So every time we switch ends, now the other team got 4 in a row and they lost the ball. They made 4 and they lost the ball. And now they're rushing instead of taking their time. And here we have passing again. We don't just slap the ball around, not in the game. Oh, I think they got 2 in a row here. And there's 3. So now they're going to warm up a little bit. It's about 4 now. We got the first 2 in a row on the other end. Now they're going for their 3rd in a row. Short. So the first few shots are easy. They're relaxed. They're just shooting. Then as they get closer to that 3 in a row or that got to make 5, you'll see them maybe start tighten up a little bit and change their shot a little bit. So they got 2 in a row, and then their next 3 shots were short, which just tells me that they were kind of tightening up some and not just relaxing and being a shooter. We got 4 down here, and there's 5. Switching. 2 spots left.
On your right, Corey.
45?
Yes. Right three down, right three down.
Communication.
Not bad.
More down here.
Passing. One. You see standing behind Corey on that shot, you could see the ball was too far away from his body, and it was to the right, and the shot went to the right. So make sure they're lining up that shot with the elbow under the ball and the shoulder squared up to the shot. Keep your head in the drill. Okay, going over the last spot. In a practice, we'll include 3s on this. Everybody will shoot 3s for either 3 in a row or 5. We won't go to 3s here, but that can be spot 8 if you have enough players who can shoot 3-pointers. And if you don't, the ones that shoot 3s, and the ones that don't, do a free throw instead. So you can modify it like that. Got it. And we are done with 3 in a row down here. So, game-like drill. AJ, we're going to do those ladders next. Game-like drill. So there's a word called gamification, and that's where people take learning or content and put it in game-like form, because studies show that using game-like variables helps in the learning process. Okay, so of course it's more fun, but also it creates different muscle memory too. Okay, one more new drill here, little shooting drill. It's called ladders. So AJ's over here set up to do ladders, and here's what he's going to do. He's got 2 minutes to make 2 in a row at 6 different spots going straight back. So he'll start right here, makes 2 in a row, push back, got to make 2 in a row 6 times until you get to the 3-point line. And you want to try to finish 2 ladders in 2 minutes. Yep. 1. 1. 2. Now he backs up 1. Got to get 2 in a row. What you'll see is they start rushing the shot and getting bad form. So they have to slow their mind down to the game. You see athletes do that a lot of time. Their mind either hasn't caught up to the game, or their mind is ahead of the game, and finding that mind-body connection there has got to become part of their habit. So now they start thinking all kind of weird things like, oh, I'm not going to make it. Oh, I've got to do this. Instead of just focusing on the technique of the shot. I missed short, I can fix that. I missed left, how do I fix that? So self-correcting as part of the game process. "30 seconds. So if it's a straight line, if every shot in this drill is a straight line, the only adjustment they should have to make is quick shot, getting the shot off with enough power in it. That's the only distance. They're adjusting for distance is the only adjustment you have to make on this. So you can take this drill and you could put it baseline, or you could put it 45. We're just doing down free throw because a lot of times in games, you'll get a good look right here from the middle. Aaron Gooch, when he was MVP of the college division, he averaged about 26 points a game, just right there around the free throw line, being that point guard who's going to take that shot when people take other shooters out of the game. So we want to make sure in a game that the person we have here has the confidence to take that shot. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Thanks, AJ. So, a couple different shooting drills that we use. We do spot shot knockout. We'll do the Maverick Shooting, making 1 in a row around the 7 spots and then 2 in a row, just to change it up. Okay, so gamification, make it a game, make it fun, make it competitive, and make it game-like. Okay, all right. Next thing we have, we're going to move over to the table and we're going to go to some film work. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, give me the number.
not what America did.
Okay, here. Video's on. Everything's ready.
Everything's good. Okay, so we are back. We're going to do a little film work and talk about some things and see if we can apply some of the concepts that we had talked about
I will pull up whatever videos you have.
during camp this week. Okay, so let's just watch this clip right here.
These are the ones I'm going to be using today. They're all going to be on the other thing.
And
so I had them over there, and then he was like,
oh, yep. So
I was like, you literally told me that we weren't using
one thing right here,
I just don't think.
and it's a good transition. I thought Adrian, if you watch Adrian right here in transition, a little speed could have got a better back pick, and a little speed coming off that back pick could have got him a nice layup on that. We swing, and it becomes a good shot for CJ. So when we move the ball and swing it, that's the shot we're trying to get on the offside to draw the defense in so they can't jump low. Okay, right here. Let me go back on that one. And we talked about this yesterday. Gonna go right back to it, but we'll get it when they come down on offense. Okay, there's the shot. Now come down on offense. They do a good job of slowing us down and back picking a little bit. Fabian does a nice job of trying to rub off Antoine there. So look over here to the right where the ball is. Okay, if we're not going to jump this, we got to be able to jump that shot to the that pass to the free throw line. All right, we don't want to give them an easy outlet there. Let's see if we can ISO that. Okay, coming back. So we should be talking here. We should know going into this game, how far out are we going to jump each of the players? So if that player is a little further out than what we like on a jump, we're not jumping, we're not giving up space. We got to be able to take that pass away to the middle. We were lucky. We got Antoine on that. We got a big on a small, so it worked out okay. And Fabian does a nice little layup there. Oh, yeah, so here's a good spot right here to show chair position on defense. Sorry about that. So we can get to it again. So you'll notice we're coming back to the teacup. We're not pressing here. Yeah, okay, we missed it. Okay, throwing the ball in. We don't have our back to the court. Adrian's going down the floor. He's looking at the floor as the ball's coming in. And CJ knows he can make that pass because nobody's up to challenge that pass. We're getting back, playing half-court defense. Okay, watch this ISO on the baseline right here. Antoine had bad chair position. He's facing the offensive player, and the offensive player was able to drive past him baseline and Antoine was backing up and got called for backing up. I'm gonna try one more time to get that and see if we can catch that coming back in transition. Adrian's looking down the floor. Good pass in. We cross at 28 seconds to work our half-court offense, which I love to have 28 seconds to work a half-court offense. Now, shooter, they do a good job here at back-picking the shooter. Back-pick the shooter, guys. Something that we have to drill and drill and drill. Back-pick the shooter. Don't lose your focus. And oh, man, they made a shot. Okay, Antoine. And now he turns his chair so that the offensive player can drive past him. And instead of getting ready to play defense, he gives the, let's stop it here. One thing he could have done with a small on the inbound, he could have got up on the baseline and really challenged that inbounds pass if he wanted to. If we're putting a lot of pressure. Instead, he matches up size. Pass comes in, we could have been a little more aggressive playing that long pass. And they get a good look out of that. Now we got 4 on 2 coming down the floor here. And they had to foul. So I like that. Our speed gave us a great opportunity shooting down there just by getting the ball down the floor quickly. So they sent 3 up, and we were able to pass over the 3 and get the ball down the floor. A little pick and roll there, missed the shot. They get the ball out quickly. Now they get the ball out ahead of us. Nice job there. And still don't know how he got that shot off. To me, if there's a small in the paint, we should not let him get that shot off. But he did a great job getting that shot off, and he made it. So, good choice. Okay, now let's look at speed in transition here. Nice cut on that one and a good shot. We lost him. That was probably a communication issue. We shouldn't have anybody cutting across the paint like that. Back pick here, so we got some help on the back pick. We had 2 coming to the basket. To me, if we had to do that again, I didn't really like the pass to the middle there that early in the shot clock. But like we talked about, you take the good with the bad, you take the mistakes, you learn from them. Nobody's going to play perfect. That's why everybody watches film, to learn from that. Okay, we got a nice pick and roll on this. Missed it, but what I liked about that was the pick and roll was out almost to the 3-point line. So Bryce had a lot of space coming in on that to make that shot. So spacing on those pick and rolls is really an advantage. Okay, now we're up. We're able to get that stop right there. And cutting off passing lanes. Back it up just a little bit. Oh, backed it up too much. Yeah, well, we'll watch him make this shot. And this is where we go down, try to force a pass. In the college game, guys, there's a lot of contact in the paint. Get used to it. We play a game called Big Man Bang to get used to shooting on contact. Okay, now watch what happens when our defensive player forces the ball. Oh, that was a foul. Oh, this is the pick and roll. Plenty of space. Missed the layup. Okay. Now we're coming back. Now we're going sidelines. So we're going to force that to sidelines. And now our defense should be right there playing that passing lane because that's the closest pass. That's the closest spot. Okay. Let's switch games here. And we're going to go to 24105. Right here. Okay, so interesting thing happened in this game. Whoops. Okay, this was an 8 o'clock game. We got there and we're following our warm-up routine. And wait, no, not this one. This is a different one. Okay, sorry. Okay. We'll get to that game. That's it. Anyway, we got to the court on time, and the other team was late and asked for extra warm-up time. Not this team, a different team. And said that one of their players had some stomach issues. And I said, I understand that, but we get up early enough to make sure we don't have, if we have stomach issues, we have time to take care of them. So you got to make sure you're up early, having breakfast, and plenty of time where you know if those issues come up, you have a backup plan other than just asking for more warm-up time. And it happens. I get it. We gave them some more warm-up time. All right, so let's go back in this game right here. Sorry about that. My ADD kicking in here. Okay, so we are shadowing in full court just to try to slow things down a little bit. They do a great job crossing. Ramiro got out to the player on top, but we lost the shooter on that one. Now on this, if you look here, we all went below the free throw line. We had 5 players going below the free throw line. So we have to fix that so we have more spacing on the floor. And we have to have our point guard at the top at the 3-point line or above the free throw line so we can have space to pass the ball. But everybody attacked the basket on that one. And that was a change we had to make. Okay, we're back a little. So they don't jump Fabian at the 3-point line, and it pays off for them. But we'll watch them come down on offense. You see the spacing, a lot of lanes, a lot of offensive lanes. Nice job on that. And fortunately, he missed the layup. But they got a nice pick and roll on that. A little bit and get out. Okay. Inbounds play. We want to pressure the inbounds play a little bit, and we want to push out. So we're pushing out real good on the offside, really well, I guess is correct English. Got a player open here, and he makes a shot. So communication on the offside, we were probably watching ball, and that's what you're going to see a lot. Players watching ball and leaving one of the priorities, one of the threats open. So better space this time. They jump Fabian. He moves the ball to the middle. We have space to get that shot off. Sometimes we'll catch ourselves just sitting at the free throw line watching, and we have to remind, okay, good example right there on speed. mean, he just got out pushed. Ramiro was watching the other side of the floor. He's on ball side, and they just out pushed him down the floor. So lesson learned. Okay, keep your head on a swivel. Crossed in the half court at 26. I'm good with that. If you see, he got fouled. Fabian got fouled on that. No call. He didn't stare down the referee. He just got back on defense, and he was one of the first defenders back. Ball's out past the three-point line. And a foul. We don't need this. We don't need that. You go back and watch the film like we're doing, yeah, it was a foul. And I used to talk to refs more than I do. But then I went back and watched film and I found out they're right most of the time. So you got to give it to the refs, you know, and you got to give them the leeway to make mistakes too. You make mistakes as a coach, as a player. Sometimes referees are going to miss one. So I would watch film and see that the referees were right quite a bit of the time. Okay, we have a nice back pick here. And speed-wise, he out-pushes our player down the floor. Good job on the yo-yo there. They're not jumping all the way out on that. And Adrian's a good shooter, so Adrian should have taken that shot. We have to teach him that, hey, you got to jump. Fabian made a nice three-pointer there. They yo-yoed that three-pointer because he missed his last one. Well, he ended up making 11 for 14 threes this game. And in the end, they had to jump the three-pointer a lot more aggressively. So he's set up for a nice screen here. Fabian makes him go low. Adrian holds that position long enough to cover the pass, the interior pass to the roller. So it was a good job on Adrian to hold that. And they kind of sagged in, and Fabian got a nice shot attacking on that side with Ramiro. Not the best video. Okay. You get what you get. So we're up. We're trying to slow the ball down. They do a good job of getting up there. I think we could have stopped the ball a little quicker and taken it out of his hands. And watching ball again. And they get a nice layup on the offside. That's going to happen, but we have to know where the threats are. Almost a bad pass, just a lazy pass. Open right there for the pick and roll. And AJ finishes the shot. Okay, so we're setting up defense here about half court. We're giving them the back court, and we don't stop ball because we're reaching. You can't reach and stop the ball. You got to stop the ball and then reach. And as a coach, you're going to say that a lot. As a player, you're going to catch yourself saying, oh, I think I can get that ball, and not. And the offensive player's still going, and they're able to get a good look. Aaron Gouge with Dallas. Oh, great player for that. He can do a shot fake. Somebody puts their hand up and reaches. Don't stop chairs, and he's in the paint. Good help defense on that one. And we're able to make that layup. Long pass. It's still 25, and we foul. We foul with 4 seconds left on the backcourt. So not the smartest foul. He had his back to the court. He's facing the sidelines, and we foul with 4 seconds for a backcourt or a timeout, or we've got him just 20 seconds to run a half-court offense. And again, these guys do a good job. This team on offense does a good job with spacing. They do a good job with crossing. They do a good job rotating back. So now they're slowing down the ball here. We're not getting the space to pick on that. But because, and let's see if we can catch this, Fabian has really good chair skills with the ball, and he was able to set up a situation right here where he gets fouled. Probably the other coach is saying, don't reach, stop his chair. Same thing we were just talking about.
Ricardo.
Okay, inbounds play. We don't have good spacing. We're all on ball side there. AJ goes to the side and takes a defender over, and Adrian drives and dishes to a hot hand. We didn't get the shot, but I like the drive and dish. Oops, bad film. Okay, we'll just go to another part of the game. Got a good stop. Player had his head turned. Could have gotten a charge out of that. Didn't, but now we got the ball all the way down the three-point line with 26 seconds. So, like that. And one less opportunity to shoot. Flat shot there. He had his elbow out on that shot. Got a nice, good passing, a lot of ball movement, and missed a layup, but a nice pick and roll there. So let me see if I can find. So what we want to do, we had a performance goals. Can you call Ricardo back? Ricardo?
Yes.
Got Ricardo trying to call in on here, so.
I have him added. I know.
I'm not sure what his problem was. I'll touch the green button. So this was our chart for the season, and we had season goals for the team. Okay, one of our goals is the other team's top player, hold them under 20 points. Okay, points per possession. We would track turnovers. Assist is one that I like because if you look, we had a lot of assists, and I like that. Means we're moving the ball well, like that last play you saw. Number of shots. If we can create turnovers, we can take more shots than the other team. So you can see most of our games and our closest games were the ones where we didn't take that many more shots, but we took enough more shots.
They can't see this.
Oh. Okay. Thank you, Madison. That's why they don't put me in charge of technology. Okay, so now we can see again. So thank you, Madison. And that's also, you can see that in your points per shot. Okay. Our goal was to shoot 47% per game and hold the opponents to 40% per game. All right, so our final and the opponent's final right here, we shot 59%, 61, 55, a 72% here, which was good shooting percentage. Fortunately, they shot 53, so fortunately, we got more shots than they did, and that can make a difference in the game. Here, this team outshot us here. But they had less shots. So number of shots, they outshot us, but we took 5 more shots than them. That was the difference in that game. We got 45% shooting there. If you look at this game, it's very interesting. We shot 32.2% the first half. So you got to look at that and go, why'd you shoot 32%? Were you not ready? Did you underestimate your opponent? Did you not have a good breakfast? Was it your third game of the day? What are some factors that force us to start out that low shooting percentage? So we shot 32 and then 61 second half. So we did something at halftime to fix that and get a better shooting percentage. We had averaged 53%, so we were happy with that. Oh no, that was the opponent's second half. We averaged 48%. Our goal's 47, so we hit our goal on that one. But again, we got 5 more shots than them. So you see the games that we shot well, and you look at the assists. We had a lot of assists. Only 14 assists here in this game. We shot 43%, so we weren't moving the ball very well. Played Dallas. Only 14 assists in this game. And Dallas plays very aggressive defense. We kind of modeled after them. They want to reduce the number of shots that we can take. So they put a lot of pressure on the ball. Another one here. We had 25 assists on this. Only 15 assists on that one. So we want over 20 assists per game. We shot 45% under our goal. They shot 48%, more than what we wanted to allow. So we had some defensive issues, but a 5-point differential. So if we shoot 80% on that, that's an 8-point difference in a score. So all these things come together with our team performance goals, which our team performance goals was to create turnovers, limit shots, limit the number one on each team to less than 20 points, and that makes us focus on stopping the number one there. Okay, let me see if I can go back to the film here.
Because you used to play it, right?
And
You still have a school now?
hopefully I am back on
It's Ricardo.
film.
What was yours, Gmail?
So, Madison, if I go back to film, am I still on screen share?
35. Lucy, okay.
Okay.
Ricardo.Lucy at 35.
Let's see if we can go from here. And then we'll go to another game. Okay. Kind of lazy defense. We could have picked up that a little bit quicker. They do cross and pick well though, so our guys are smart about that.
Hold on.
So he gets a good look and he draws a foul. And are they able to see what I'm doing
No,
here?
can I do it?
Nope. Yep. You can.
Every time you change
Just went
it,
to that.
every time you do it, you have to switch to stop sharing and share
Oh, okay.
whatever it is. You want to go to this?
Okay. So all right, here's our performance goals.
You want to do performance goals?
Offensive goals, defensive.
Yeah, can you see this?
Team goals, just to show we use these to determine our practices too. So our
Like what you're doing
practices are
has to
set
match
based on
down
that.
here.
Okay, let's go next back to the film. Here we are, we're back. Thank you, Madison. Okay, and now, all right, we'll stay on this game. Yep, that was just turning heads on defense. A lot of times we watch ball. Can't be watching ball. And he got a pick, and he came off that pick. This side over here didn't adjust. We didn't send help, and so they got, we fouled. We stopped the shot, so that's okay. We made him get it the hard way. I think they made 1 for 2. Okay, we're already back picking. We could have thrown the ball up closer to half court so that the receiver, Carrington, was catching the ball moving down the floor. Just little things, lots and lots of little things. So one thing on that, maybe we can point out here, Carrington's sitting still. I would like to see when the defense sees you sitting still and they're not pressuring you, I'd like to see us attack the basket. Let's see if we can get that. So going down the floor, kind of clogging up the middle here. Adrian gets out. Carrington brought the ball back to pass. The defense left. I would like to see him attack the basket there a little bit. See if we can get that again. Adrian came down and kind of clogged up a lane there.
You might have to create that account then. You shouldn't have to pay for it. It should be free. Just to sign in on the account.
Maybe we can get that. If not, we'll move on.
It's not letting us back.
Okay, now he could have attacked right there. When the defender turned his back, he could have attacked the basket and probably would have drawn a foul right there.
Sorry, we have 20 minutes.
Okay. Good space. The middle's open. Then we go block up the middle. But now we've got the defense packed in, and we get a decent look. That's a good look for Adrian. We have 9 minutes. If we can. 9 minutes.
You have 9 minutes.
Okay. Since I messed things up when I changed to different games, then we are going to stay on this game and just watch. Defender was sitting just stopped in the middle of the floor. So keep your chair moving. So now he misses that. He could have bananaed into that a little more and his chair would have been moving. So now he's picked out. We do a good job helping, but then we didn't recover very quick on the help. We got to help and recover. Then we could have taken that pass away to the top, forced the ball over more. Nice jump and good shot. We want to be aggressive. We want to be aggressive on defense. We want to pressure passes. We want to pressure shots. That time, Adrian did recognize that he had a back to attack, but the help defense was able to knock the ball away. So they do a good job pressuring the ball too. So the lineup change here. Okay, camera got turned, I guess. We're lucky good place to film from. So this facility has a nice balcony that teams can film from. Okay, let's look what we have here. Okay, let's go back just a little bit. I thought that the offensive player on the left, which I think was Garrett, we had a nice open middle of the court, and he maybe attacked a little bit too early. Good hands on that. Knocked the ball off of the other player, according to the referees. Now, maybe a little early by Garrett there, because Carrington, who's a quick player, would have been an ISO on the top of that. Quick shot, maybe could have moved the ball more. And got out to pressure that shot. A nice jump by Fabian on that. Now, bad communication, so we're unorganized at the top on that one. That left Garrett with a nice ISO on a player that he could take advantage of, and he was able to do that. So we got a nice ISO away from the ball. All heads were on the ball, and Garrett got a nice ISO there. Bryce, good job helping. Too late getting to that player in the middle, but it's a big on a small, so he got a hand on it. Now speed. Here's where speed was an advantage. Fabian was quick enough to get down there and be able to get that shot off. Created by Garrett's pressure on the ball. So teamwork. Okay, now we have him out there about 15 feet. We let him go baseline, and we didn't pressure the player at the top. No reason to give him that pass to the top on that play. He's stuck on baseline. We should be taking every passing lane away on that. And now we got good space, but we're sitting. So we had good space on that, but when the ball came through Adrian at the top over to Fabian, we didn't get any motion on the other side. Everybody was just sitting and watching. So we want to have some motion away from the ball. When that ball swings, let's switch the wing, and the point guard or the player at the top can switch on that and get some motion and get them turning heads. Fortunately, Fabian had a great shooting game that day. No pressure. We did a good job of recovering on that. Bryce took the pass away to the top. Then we gave it back up again. And we lose this shooter and got lucky. Nice pass, passing, and speed. So 3 seconds we're down the floor and scoring. So another example of using speed, and also not just using speed, but those reaction time factors, knowing that we're getting the ball and we can push. Plus Fabian having the ball has something to do with it too, because he's definitely a big threat in this game. Good job of not getting picked out at the top. We could have pressured that a little bit quicker. Now, got a good matchup here. A good recovery back to the middle. We do the jump and recover drill. Well, there's why. Good recovery to make them pass the ball again. And he got a good shot and made it behind that screen. But we made him move the ball the way we want to, and that's one of our goals. Make them pass the ball. We could have switched and got some movement away from the ball again. We're sitting watching. Now some good pressure. Now we got to really be talking and communicating here, picking up players in transition. And if we're not, we don't get those stops. So nice job getting those stops. Turning chairs so that we're able to jump. Nice jump there. Even a hand up like that creates a little bit of doubt on the defensive player part. And then we were late jumping the shooter on that one. We got caught up on chairs. Keep your chair moving and learn how to hop off those chairs when they put a little pressure on the side. Let's put it that way. Ball movement, sitting and watching. We got nice pick and roll by having patience on the offside, and then miss the layup. It happens. They must have made the basket on that because they messed the net up. So somehow in that session they got a good look out. Where are we? Here we go. Make the move. They get a nice post up. We get a little pressure from behind. And that's really good pressure to avoid the foul on that. Carrington has long arms, so he was able to get a hand on that from behind. And that's what I was talking about the other day when we're looking at film. He's in the paint there. We can pressure that ball from behind. He doesn't have much option other than just maybe take a bad shot. So bringing the ball in. We got space on that side to run the pick and roll. We don't attack down the middle because we want that space. We want that space. So unless you have a big at the top, you want that space in the middle. They got a nice seal here on low, and we have to foul. So let's look and see how they got that seal. And there it is. Oh, because we were all over on the ball side and not playing our defensive lanes. And they recognized that, and they got a great seal out of it. We had one player on this side. We had four players on one side of the court. Move the ball again. Good patience, but no motion on the other side. And nice offensive rebound, though. That's 2 offensive rebounds in a possession, so I like that. And that's a nice wide open look. We don't get it, but it's a great look. I'll take that look. But we got it from 2 offensive rebounds. So advantage us, we get 2 extra shots. So even if shooting is down low, okay, interesting call here.
It is, you can't.
Go here.
I can pick all
Nice
this.
back pick to be getting the
I can
ball.
start a Zoom meeting and you can put it on my
And
laptop and set the
A
laptop.
good chair position and got called for
You can see you.
an offensive foul.
I was just discussing. Right?
So.
Just like talking back and forth.
Maybe a little debatable. But that's how the game's played. Okay, we get the ball back. We got 2-man game going. We got their big was back picked, and we lost that back pick. Carrington creates good job of creating space at the top, and good luck. I'll take that look. Next year we make that look. So one thing interesting that happened on this, he gets that look, but heads turned, and we were able to get in and get a good offensive rebound. So when the ball goes up and we got heads turning,
Good. I have to try something, so we're gonna be
okay.
on hold for a second.
Okay, so we about got our special guest Ricardo in. Only time for maybe 1 or 2 more plays. Got a good back pick here.
I need
To his credit, he doesn't give up. And we get down here, we give him too much space, and he is able to get back into the play. We never stopped his chair. And we could have moved that. Clock was at about 15. We could have moved the ball over to the right and try to get something on the offside, but that didn't happen. You need here? Okay. All right. So, always fun watching film. No comment is made at a specific player. It's just looking at, shoulda, woulda, coulda. And especially looking at how you played offense and defense. So what we're going to do now, we're going to bring Madison back in. She's going to help us get Ricardo on the line. Ricardo's a former player, and I will introduce him as soon as we get this set up.
Can you hear me? Can you see me? You cannot. Okay, you're gonna be able to see me through the Zoom. You should be able to at least. I'm sharing your screen and everyone should be able to see me and I am unmuted. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. You should be set up. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna go check on my laptop.
Okay. Ricardo, that was a little process, wasn't it? That was a bit of a process. Okay.
You're gonna be seen over here.
Okay. Hey, so welcome. Thanks for doing this with us. Excited to have you. A little bit of an introduction for Ricardo. Ricardo came to me at D3 Nationals, and he was with the Miami Heat Wheels. I knew his coach. The coach had been bringing some of their players to our camps. I got to watch Ricardo and his team, and he came to me after a game, and he said, "Coach, I want to come play at UTA. What do I have to do?" So, as a D3 player, he had work to do, and I told him some things I needed him to do. Work your speed, work your agility, work your chair skills. Academically, you need to do this, this, and this. And Ricardo looked me in the eye and shook my hand very firmly and said, "I'm going to do it." Now, let me tell you, that happens to me. Players say, "Oh, I want to come to UTA." You tell them what to do. They never do it. They don't get it done. Ricardo went back and he got it done. He got everything done. He got the academic work done. He got his physical work done. He came in as a low pointer and still had plenty of work to do, and he put that work in. And you could tell his work ethic was very, very strong. Not only that, he kept a journal. I mentioned the other day I had a player who kept a journal. He kept a journal on all his workouts. And he worked his way up from being a bench player and a role player to being captain our senior year and taking us to win the championship. And when you get to that level of leadership where you can help other people get better, and that's what we want. We want players who are going to help other people get better, but also balance helping yourself get better. And it's really two different things. Sometimes it's different in the way you see it. Ricardo did a great job with that. So I don't want to take all the time. Ricardo, tell me a little bit about your journey from your side. Are you on mute? Okay, I hear you. Yep. Yeah. So can we back up the story a little bit. Before your injury, you played other sports. You were a high-level tennis player. You were a baseball player looking at a tryout system. What are some lessons that you brought from that background into now you have a disability and you're looking at an all-new sport? And why do you think it was so important for you? Like some people will come in and they don't get to play and they have an excuse. Oh, the coach likes another player. Oh, my classification level keeps me out of lineups. What did you do for yourself to stay motivated for those 5 years? Because you really didn't get a lot of playing time until like maybe your third year, I think, maybe fourth year. So what do you do to stay motivated, not just let those excuses take away from your intensity? So you mentioned being a class one and people saying, oh, you're a class one, you can't do this, you can't do this. And that happens a lot. Um, what's some advice you would have for lower point players? Because you know what, a good class one is super valuable. So what's some advice you would have from lower point players, or maybe people who are recently injured and people are saying, okay, well, this is your injury. You're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do this. How do you fight through that? So in those years that you were building up your playing time and your value to be on the court and proving to your team and to me that, hey, you need me on the floor, what you mentioned, everybody needs to find a role or bring value to the team. What about those players who aren't getting a lot of playing time? What are some things they can do to bring value to the team while they're working on developing their own skills? Okay, so you were here 5 years, then you went on and got your job. In those 5 years, maybe without naming names, talk about some different players that you saw come through the system that you think maybe left with some regrets or some things they could have done to maximize their time while they're in college, on and off the court. So no regrets. We talk about and practice some. You don't need a title to be a leader. You don't have to be a captain to be a leader. Everybody can be a leader. They can lead themselves. They can help lead their teammates. But when you became captain, how did that leadership? How did that leadership change look? And what did you do to maximize your efforts as a captain? And here's the hard part. You only got about 2 minutes to answer that.
together, have conversations with them, have one-on-one meetings, team meetings that I call in my apartment or anybody else's apartment. And that was a lot of fun because it allowed me to see everybody else from a different point and get to know them sometimes better than they knew themselves basketball wise and in a basketball IQ context.
Okay. So Ricardo is a player, and you can tell by visiting with him, he's going to do well in life. And he used the opportunity to play college wheelchair basketball and the opportunities he had as an athlete before to set himself up to do really well. So final words, Ricardo?
Well, I just, thank you. And I hope that everybody who's listening right now, if you're a player anywhere, just take advantage of this time. You know, it doesn't last forever. You might miss it. I mean, you will miss it when it's gone, but you don't want to look back and say, I wish I had done more. I wish I had taken care of this opportunity and treated it with respect. So every day, just go out there and give it all. I mean, just student athlete, all you have to do is study and play. So take advantage of that. Have fun, enjoy college. If you're new to college, if you're in high school, just get ready for it. Get ready for it so when you get there, you can maximize your education opportunities and also your sport that we all love, and that's why we end up going to school for wheelchair basketball.
Well, thanks for being here. Ricardo's been giving me feedback all week, and we've been talking about how we can do things better. And that's one thing Ricardo always does, is try to find ways to do things better. How can I be a better person tomorrow? How can I do things better in my life? And he brought those same traits, leadership traits and character traits, to his game and his time here at UTA. And we certainly appreciated his leadership and his impact on our program. So guess what, Ricardo? You're going to be one of the last images people see from our first virtual camp. So thank you for being here with us. I'd like to talk a little bit, I think I've got about 2 minutes left, 3 minutes, about leadership. And visiting with Ricardo always brings up the topic of leadership. And leadership is something you're going to take beyond basketball. Just the ability to lead yourself first and then lead small groups of people, gradually growing. So Ricardo came through, he was a team leader. Now he moves out in the real world and he's got those experiences of leading a small group. Someday I know we'll be seeing him leading large groups and really creating change in the world. So we talk a lot about leadership, and there's a couple websites that I totally recommend as far as leadership. One is leadershipfreak.blog. So those of you out there who want to really start following leadership, you can subscribe to Dan Rockwell, and it's free. It's leadershipfreak.blog, and he talks about bringing leadership to different situations and different parts of your life. The other one is leadership@smartbrief.com. Leadership@smartbrief.com. Take charge in your life, you athletes out there, of not only developing your leadership skills, but knowing the field of leadership. Anybody on Facebook, you really need to go back and see the new Nike commercial. It's a fantastic commercial. I've shared it. I think Moving Mav's site shared it, but it's a great commercial for anybody to see at this time of maybe feeling isolated or alone or out there by yourself. So check out the new Nike commercial. And I think it's a great example because it does include a scene of a person with a disability, actually two people with disabilities and wheelchairs. And that's an example of how our culture is changing. Our culture in accepting and being aware of disability is changing. And all you guys are part of that change. So what you do to represent yourself and the population of people with disabilities is really important. In our media, we have so many depictions now of people with disabilities out in the world. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because a lot of people don't think of people with disabilities out in the world. But our culture is changing, and you watch the media and see how many times on commercials and in television shows and movies, even there was an actress in a wheelchair who won a Tony Award for stage for Wizard of Oz, and she was the main character in the Wizard of Oz, and she was in a wheelchair, so kind of broke that barrier. So what are you guys doing out there to set yourself up to be successful, to continue to break barriers? We talked about the ADA and the people that we want to honor for their work in making the world a better place for that next generation. Ricardo did that with our program. You can go out there and do that with your program and in the world. And I always look forward to seeing more people with disabilities representing in the media, in television, in books, as leaders in government. We have more people in wheelchairs with disabilities as leaders in our government than ever. And I've got like less than 1 minute. So I hope you've enjoyed this camp. We've tried to put a lot of different types of information out here. It's difficult to do with the situation that we're in, but we did our best to do it. You can always send questions to me on our Facebook page at movingmavs@uta.edu. Let us hear from you. And Ricardo, thank you. All of our people out there, thank you for logging in and watching. All of these are available on archive at YouTube archive. Thank to our players who came out every day and gave their time, and super big thank you to our interns, Jimmy and Madison, who got us through some really sticky situations, right, Ricardo? And made sure that the show went on. We appreciate y'all. We're going to continue to do some training videos, so keep an eye on YouTube, and good luck this season. I know we're going to have a season. Come out ready to go. See everybody in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you, Ricardo.
Yeah, thanks.